PJ, great to have you on. I mean, you know, let me just start by asking this. This all comes to it's been a month here, over a month of fighting and battles, people losing their lives, the former president being jailed, many of his supporters being jailed, and yet the Obama administration has strenuously avoided calling this a coup. Doing so, of course, would mean $1.3 billion in American aid go away. And over the past 3 decades, Israel and Egypt have been the top 2 recipients of that aid. That, of course, the U.S. government says would hurt national security to end that aid. But does that add up?
Well, I think the decision to avoid calling it a coup and to trigger a suspension of the aid was based on a presumption that you gain more leverage by maintaining the relationship with the Egyptian military. It is the most influential and stable element of Egyptian society, but that we would be able to use that leverage to help Egypt move along a path to inclusive democracy. But obviously the events of today, coupled with other violence that we've seen over the past few weeks, makes it much more difficult, and I would say much more unlikely that anytime soon you're going to see a restoration of conditions that can lead in the direction that the United States wants to see Egypt go.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. People have said, well, look, it gives America leverage. But leverage to do what? The president has said, I call on the Egyptian military to move quickly and responsibly to go back to a democratic process. Obviously hasn't happened. Obviously, the U.S. said that they wanted to continue aid because it would increase stability in the Middle East. But aid has gone into Egypt, as we know, for 3 decades. And obviously, the region is far from stable. John McCain was in Cairo, PJ. And he said what he thinks it is. He was very direct about it. Let me play it for you and get your reaction.
If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
He's talking about a coup. Is it time for the Obama administration, PJ, at this point to step up and say, this is it, we draw the line, enough, guys?
Well, I think John Kerry today said the right thing. The violence today is deplorable, and it is a setback in terms of where Egypt needs to go. I think under the surface there has to be a serious review of where we are in the policy that we have, because it's not sustainable and it's not necessarily related to events on the ground. I think it is time to call it a coup. I thought it was time 6 weeks ago to call it a coup, suspend military assistance so that the military is invested in the process of rewriting the Constitution, sitting a parliament, and electing a new president. But I'm hard-pressed at this point because there have been 2 serious incidents of violence, largely responsibility of the military, on top of what was a coup. So precisely what does the Egyptian military have to do to put military aid in jeopardy? I think it's time for the Obama administration to seriously review where we are.